I think with AI and all of the different tools coming out, I just want to like firmly say that there's a lot of potential in it, but also it's not replacing you.
Being limitless is knowing your success and your growth are built on a radical belief in yourself. Limitless is honoring your purpose, your health, and impact above all else. Limitless is never playing small because the more alive you feel in your life, the more growth and success you attract. Hi, my name is Jamie Ratterman, and I am a holistic business coach, meaning I am just as invested in growing your health as I am in growing your wealth. With 11 plus years in brand and social media marketing, I help rebellious entrepreneurs master marketing, embody leadership, and say fuck it to the hustle. This show is here to encourage you to become more radically aware of your self-imposed limits, to break free of your shoulds, and to expand your brand into a movement led by you. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to another episode of the Limitless Podcast. And guess what? We have a returning guest because you all loved last year when we did our video marketing predictions. So we are going to bring our favorite guest on back, Nicolette Hilbrick. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
Hello. I literally in my brain just heard the like the audience going wild. You should add that sound bit in.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be lovely? We'll have a lot live shows of Limitless. So we'll put that on my vision board. That'll happen. I like that. I like that idea.
I can see it.
Well, if you don't know Nicolette, you should, but now you should know that Nicolette and I are business partners at this point. She's been a client of mine. I've been a client of hers. She's also, of course, a support coach in my marketing mastery program. So she helps my clients with their video as well as a sprint leader. So in general, we've got to spend so much time together in many different ways in the past year, but also too, this is why I love her. Her genius has a lot to do with how to create vibey. Last year I called you zany. I listened to the podcast this morning, which made me laugh. I'm like, why did I call her zany? But absolutely something that jumps out of the feed. And I think that's exactly why I love having her on here to talk about how we as entrepreneurs, business owners can create more video, be more sustainable in what we do in the next year. So knowing that we predicted last year, we're going to predict again with our in-house, let's call her video creator and coach, Nicolette. Welcome back officially. Welcome back. Tell us, how has the last year been for you?
Well, I'm so excited to be here, first of all. This past year, my video shoots have really taken off, which I'm so grateful for. I've been able to travel to Greece. I've been to New York City quite a bit, Colorado, Bozeman, Montana, Chicago. I'm in Milwaukee now here. So I've had shoots here as well. And I think a big reason that the video shoots have taken off is kind of what we're going to be chatting about during this episode is, having the importance of having quantity of video, but within that quality and also instilling your brand identity within your video, and the value of that for business owners. And so that's been a lot of this past year has been doing a lot of client video work and also finding the balance to be able to continue doing my own, and showing up on social, all the things, always upping my own quality of video, and having a lot of fun with that. Also filming my dogs quite often. So
her dog now has an Instagram. June is getting her spotlight, as she should.
Junie
One
B,
of those video
Aussie.
shoots was, oh, sorry, go ahead. What?
Junie B, the Aussie. That's
Okay.
her Instagram.
We'll make sure it's in the show notes, just in case. One of those video shoots was actually with me. I had Nicolette come to New York. We did a full day shoot together. I got to run around New York with her. But I think what's really fun about it is, and what we'll talk about in just a moment, is we built a video shoot based off of what my brand is. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I love hearing that the video shoots have been killing it for you. It makes me so happy. But why don't we just dive on in? Let's talk about how brilliant we are. Listening to the 2023 predictions, we were on point for every single thing. We like there was not one thing on there going like, well, that didn't pan out. It absolutely did. So I'm so sorry. We're going to be immodest. We're going to pat ourselves in the back. We told you what was going to happen in it, and it came to fruition. So like knowing that our predictions, like we were. Oh, I think we had wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were 6 for 6. We were 6 for 6 on last year's predictions. So this year, let's see how well we do. But one of the things we said in 2023 was crispy, high quality video was going to have its day. So a large portion of what we had said back then was that, some of the, not very in focus, not very high quality type of video was going to just kind of not pan out well. It wasn't going to be given as much reach as others. How do you feel that worked out this year?
I mean, like 100% accuracy on that prediction. I think I mean, even going into 2024, like that's continuing to be an important thing, right? With so many of us scrolling, we don't want, I guess, waste our time on something that's hard to see or hard to focus on, know where to look, right? We want it to be easy to, what's the word? Like,
stand out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And easy to understand, easy to connect with, right? And having higher quality video plays a really big role in allowing for that. And it also establishes thought leadership within that, right? Like the higher quality of video, the more trust that comes with it. And I think that is just, yeah, like I said, continuing to be a really important part of video content in this social media world we live in.
I think especially with this type of media, the more video that we're going to be seeing coming into feeds, the more that you embrace this skill, you're going to just find yourself getting more reach on a regular basis. So what in particularly, I would say that high quality video is, I mean, it is across the board. I shouldn't say it's just Instagram, but I want to talk about this in a little bit, but Instagram has shown that they want the formal high curation. They're still in that realm. So the like, even if it's something really simple, but you have that clarity of video, can be really helpful. So last year we talked about using your back camera a little more often, which can be super helpful. But what should our general basic settings be right now for anyone who's, doing a selfie video or doing documentary style video around their home? What do you think the basic settings should be on, let's just say for iPhones, because we know that the majority of people use iPhones here? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's kind of, in a sense, two options. We have like the cinematic camera, which is only getting better and better with the newer iPhone.
So fun to do that one now. I was in Italy. Like I was like, wait, let me just do the cinematic. This is really nice.
And it works on the selfie camera, the front facing camera. So if you're doing a talk to camera and you're using the front camera, using the cinematic camera, like we were saying, like higher quality allows you to better understand, connect with the video. Having that blurred background allows your audience to really draw their eye into you as the subject. And you can use the cinematic on the front or the back camera. So highly recommend experimenting with that. And as for using your back camera, like I said, cinematic, or using the normal camera option and putting it on 4K. And if you want to play around with some slow-mo, using 60 frames per second. I think I mentioned that in our last episode too, because slow-mo, the people love slow-mo. And that's I guess that's not a formal trend that we mentioned per se or prediction, but the people love slow-mo.
Love it. I love it. Another prediction we got right is that trends aren't as important. Do you remember like 2021 days, or even last year still, 2022, it was every single thing in your Reels feed or on TikTok was the same trend. Somebody else was doing the same trend repeatedly over and over and over again.
I think I don't know if I wrote that down or thought it in my mind before we started recording, but I think that trends are something that people almost do the exact opposite of gravitate towards as a user, right? Mm-hmm. Like seeing the same thing, what's going to happen, right? And that that surprise factor. There's a better phrase for that. But that surprise, that like thing that makes them want to watch again or keep watching is no longer there when they know what trend someone is doing. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think really personalizing and getting creative in the way that you're showing up within your video content is going to be and is currently a really important part of this. And it allows for it to be more fun too, right? We're not trying to fit a mold. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're able to like express ourselves within the way we create. And I just got goosebumps because that's something I'm so passionate about and I think is so powerful as the creator and for your audience, like experiencing that from someone.
Totally. And I think that's a big part of this is that what's replaced the trends is how strong and edgy or like really hitting the points of what your brand is about. That's what's replaced it. So like being able to know that like, yes, or I want to talk about this within my predictions, but like the idea of the lip sync videos and having to try all these dances or any of those specific things, they're not what makes you build an audience anymore. Like now it's about, can you showcase your design, your brand vibe, what your core values are through video, through the energy of your video. And I think the people who've done that well have done really well this year, have done exceptionally well this year.
I think that a block that potentially / most likely comes up within doing this within your video content is like, oh, it's going to take me so much time. Like, how do I do this? It's going to take me time to figure it out. And so then, as opposed to figuring out or experimenting, it goes down a path of continuing to do what they've been doing or continuing to do what maybe isn't quite working, but is easy. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that acknowledging that and being able to like open the door to, instead of it being something scary or something hard or time consuming, it's like exciting to explore and try and test things out and learn. I could go on a tangent about this, but I'm going to stop myself.
Well, I think what even too with what you're playing with there is another one of our predictions. It's about how can we make this sustainable? And I'm going to just go ahead and put out one of my 2024 predictions is that we got to post more. We're going to be out there more all of the time. Because I think there's a sense of now all the video platforms have found their vibe, what their style is going to be. So the ability for creators, for businesses to have video, know what to put out there and enjoy it is going to be what kind of sets people apart. So last year we talked about what it looked like to create for fun, how to batch the process, just because video is a different beast. Let's just call it that versus just taking a photo and putting it up. So knowing like how you can work through the process, getting shits and giggles posts up. When's the last time you did a shits and giggles post? Like just like the little things. I think there's a sense of sustainability starts with enjoying this, period. So like 100%. If like before I tell you, oh yeah, you need to be posting more, or I encourage you to be posting more on these platforms, it goes, but do you enjoy it? Because if you're going to be spending your time building this visibility using video, like how can you build in this process to enjoy video creation for your business? So what do you think kind of gets in the way, I guess, of people not enjoying video creation and being able to know how to make it more sustainable by having more fun?
I think only doing it for a post that day, like doing it in a rushed form where, it's we got to come up with something to post today and quickly throwing something together. And I think
I have officially brought you over to the batching end of things.
Yes, you have. You have.
Because when I met Nicolette, she goes, I don't want to batch, but now she's going, stop trying to create in the moment. Like, it's just that's not going to be fun. I'm like, this just makes personal win.
But with that, I want to add too, of course, batching and also allowing space, giving yourself space and time to play and create without that pressure of like, I have to post this, or this is going to be a post, right? Like just giving yourself that time to learn. I think that is like one of the biggest things that comes up is if you don't give yourself the space and time to learn and experiment with the tools and the ways to create and the edits and all of the things, the apps, it's you're creating that glass ceiling, right? That's the phrase, isn't it? Like you're maybe glass ceiling isn't the phrase, but you're creating a roadblock and you want to get past it. And a great way to do so is to, like I said, like give yourself that time to just learn and play and experiment.
I love that. I love it. Beautiful. So if you want to listen to how we got all those 2023 video predictions right, please run back to that episode. But we're going to drop into our next year, what it is, what we're about to get into. So Nick, go ahead. Let's just let you start us off. What is one prediction you have for 2024 when it comes to video marketing?
Well, we all know that AI is on the rise. in many ways, in like countless ways. It's actually kind of crazy the amount of like platforms out there. But one of the ways that I think entrepreneurs can benefit from AI and video content is, and this is the one that I've heard of and am slightly familiar with. It's called Opus clip, which essentially what it does is it takes like a longer form video, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about longer form videos in TikTok in a moment, but it'll take a longer form video and AI will go in and work its magic and break it up into multiple shorter form videos. So from one long video that you put time in filming and so forth and so on, now you have, X amount of reels to post, and the amount of time that will save you as well. And I think with AI and all of the different tools coming out, I just want to like firmly say that there's a lot of potential in it, but also it's not replacing you, right? Like I saw this Canva thing where it can create an avatar and you write the text that you want it to say and it looks like a real person talking and it's not you. And I'm like, that's super cool. Like I love that technology has come this far and all the things, but like, what your people want is you. We want your voice. We want your face.
I think we're kind of though with what you're playing at here. I think so. The AI generated video, like it does a number of different things. For instance, the captions app can help you take out your ums and ands and all the things. So what I would say is like the biggest benefit is some of like that stock video that we may not have. AI can build that for you. There's a number of different things. So taking some of the editing pieces out. So, using my podcast as an example, lovingly, my podcast editor gets to fish through which parts of the podcast that we think it will be really great to share on YouTube Shorts and different places. Some of these AI generated options can find those things for you. So with this AI generated video, there's one end of the spectrum where you're trying to replace yourself with an avatar, which maybe it's going to work for some brands, but that wouldn't be something I would recommend for most of our creators and service providers, just because they want to see humans, they don't want to see avatars. But also too, what's been really lovely about the AI side of things is that it can cut down on the editing time with video. It can cut down on it can help you find the tools that hold the attention. So I will say I've seen Opus Clip a number of times. So you're giving me that mental note and that check mark to like, okay, I gotta go check this thing out. But I think there's just AI is letting it be less of any reason why not to jump in on video, because it helps you to churn out more by getting rid of some of the the painstaking like editing process or finding the key elements of the videos that you like.
And too, I mean, even going back to what I was saying about taking the time to learn, like yes, AI can help you in all these ways, right? But it's also taking the time to learn how to use these tools, right? And at least for me, like whenever I'm making a decision or trying to do something, right, getting more information, learning is what allows me to make that decision or to take that step, right? And I think that, just coming full circle in what we're chatting about, right?
Totally.
These tools can
Beautiful.
help you, but you got to learn them.
So Opus clip, take that piece, but also to, yeah, even to, I've talked about how chat GPT can be a really fun place to ask for some educational content ideas, and then you get to decide where you go with it. So being able to know that if like you're ever feeling stuck, AI can be that support to get the kind of the juices flowing.
Oh
I love
yeah, I use that often. Often. It's like I have some ideas, I like give it to ChatGPT, like come up with like 10 more ideas that are similar to this. And then it will, give me a path or inspire a path or another idea to take. And I find that to be very supportive. So highly recommend exploring ChatGPT.
I love it. I love it. One of my predictions is that we're going to be entering into doubling down even further on personalization when it comes to your brand, when it comes to your products, all of the above. So I think there's a sense of knowing like like when something new kind of media is introduced, people just try it, like put it out there. Like we can think about the timeline of social media and all of the above, but if we're thinking about just video, we all were turning on our selfie cameras and doing a lip sync and throwing it up there. And now the longer it's been out there, we're showing that the better editors were going to do well. That was last year. The better editors are doing even pretty well and doing high quality video this year. But more so, walking into this next year is going, we know the people on the screen. We know that they know who we are. So I think Nick and I have always talked about how what we love about video is that we truly get to see the energy of the creator. We truly get to feel into them, and it's harder, let's just say, to put on a mask when you're doing video because it allows someone to kind of get your mannerisms, your vibe, what it looks like. So that any of these brands that are not doing that, let's say, like that are just posting up any type of video, missing out on that documentary style video that we love, or being able to showcase their product being used, what it feels like to walk in the doors to their restaurant, what it feels like to, cook this amazing meal for their family. If they're missing the opportunity to showcase that, they're not going to get as high of a performance versus somebody who's just putting up video to throw it up there. So I think the longer, and this happened on Facebook as well, whenever it became the behemoth that it was, the longer it was around, the people that kept getting more sophisticated and really paying attention to their audience did better. So this idea of personalizing your video that nobody else is going to be able to copy it. I mean, this is almost like the opposite of AI video, which is what's funny about it. But like this is what it is. If you want to combat the ones that are just throwing up AI stock images, how can you bring your brand element, and how can you showcase how strong of a brand that you have in your video? So how do you see that now, or do you agree with me that you think this is going to be a really important piece for the following year?
Yeah, I think, well, I wanted to add what you were saying about having how that will allow for a higher performance and conversion rate, right? Mm-hmm. That recognizable brand and trust and all the things that come with that. I think a really big part of it that I've seen a few creators do really well, and of course I'm my own biggest critic, so I'm like, I could do this better. I could, is like having your brand fonts, your brand vibe, like the same energy that you want, you tell your website designer that you want people to feel when they're on your website, allowing that to also come into your video content, right? And not just the video itself, but like your cover photos, right? Like I was just scrolling through all of my saved posts and I was looking for this one particular post that this one creator had posted a long time ago. And I could tell every time I scrolled past one of their posts because they have the same font, the same vibe. And I didn't even need to scroll through it in like feed form. I could just scroll through the whole grid of saved posts because I could tell which posts were theirs based on the cover photo that was there. And I think that alone is so powerful with being able to build trust and convert your audience to clients, customers, all the things, friends.
And a big part of this too is, and I talk about this, I did an episode recently, did an episode around like what to stop doing on Instagram, is that a part of this is that like the Reels feed is becoming the primary feed. Same thing, so just like TikTok, that's the For You page. It's not this, who do I follow? Let me check in on them. The Reels feed is becoming that, and being able to really stand out in a place that's built for people's interests, and like, oh, this person, this vibe, I know this vibe, I've seen this before, I should follow them. That's going to be what comes through when you really push what your brand values are in your videos. Having some type of repetitive element, whether that's colors, whether that's brand font, is going to be really supportive. But of course, the quality of the content itself, and how well you are speaking to your ideal client, how well you are speaking to the relatability of who you are. So the brands that are going to win in 2024 when it comes to video, they're going to just, like, if they were at a 3 when it came to their branding and they turn it up to a 7, they're going to be able to see how their video turns into clients for them, which is what I love.
And that also relates to the sustainability of it and the batching of it too, right? When you're just like creating a post on a whim, which, you know, we love a good shits and giggles post every now and then, but you know, it's the day of creating a post, reel, what am I going to do? It's harder to have that consistency of your brand within it, right? If you're just quickly throwing something together. Whereas if you're batching, you can, you know, ensure that, you know, you have that one little repeatable thing, you know, piece of your video that you had mentioned. Make sure that that's within each of the, you know, 5 reels you batch that day, or whatever it is, whatever it looks like. And then, yeah, it's just like, again, it's a full circle here.
I love it. All right. So use AI to help with the video process in 2024. Also realize that the more you can personalize your brand and your content, it's going to pay off in conversions and all of the above. What else are you predicting for 2024, Nick?
I think something that it's something I teach in my Keeping It Real course, which I just love how, you know, it has maintained its accuracy, I guess, so to speak, is leaving them wanting more, right? There's a lot of reels out there that are, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with these, but like they're, you know, there's 2 kind of categories that I'm thinking about, but the one clip reels that have like the read caption, I've heard from many people that they are kind of getting sick and tired of that kind of reel, but the reason that they are so popular is the ease within them. So I think you know, this is kind of a twofold trend or prediction we're talking about here, but allowing for that ease in creating that kind of reel, but providing a little bit more value in the text on the reel, right?
So is your prediction that you can have reels where people actually read the caption?
My prediction is giving people more of a reason to read the caption than just read the caption, right? Like that's been a really big trend, but I think it's kind of dying off because I know a lot.
I disagree with that last part, but sure.
I think, well, I think it's dying off in the sense of, you know, this is how I got this and this and this, read caption. I think that there will be a little bit more value there before taken to read the caption. That's my prediction. I think it's like kind of similar to like the trends that you know, we were talking about kind of falling off, right? Like how they're less important. I think that is almost one of those, in the sense of people wanting to be able to watch, right? They're scrolling reels to watch. So just giving a little bit more before you ask them to read the caption for those one clip reels. And then the twofold side of this is for those multi-clip kind of reels, those video storytelling style, is ending the reel, leaving them wanting more. Right.
So what, I guess I'm trying to figure out what, like, give me an example. What does it look like to, like, for like a video composition that encourages someone to want more?
It's almost like if you think of like a storyline, right? Like it goes up and there's the climax and then there's the resolution, right? It's almost like ending at the climax, ending the reel at the climax. So they're like, whoa, or it's kind of hard to explain this. It
is like use me as an example if I was to do something like this.
Okay, well, I just posted a reel using videos from our shoot, and at the
Mhm.
end, it was like a super vibey video of you kind of spinning in slow motion. And it was a short clip right at the end there, and it kind of leaves someone wanting more, like, whoa, that was super vibey and cool. I want to watch again because I want to watch that last clip again.
Okay. So like you cut something like really actionable, really energetic short so that someone goes, did I miss something? And they keep watching. I see.
Right. And like
Okay, got
same
it, got
thing
it, got
with more like funny reels, right? Like having the super funny thing or like the oh, what's it called? The word the thing that makes a joke a joke. What is
it.
that? Like
Punchline.
the yeah, like having like the punchline, so to speak, right at the end,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
then the people will want to watch it again and be able to experience that again. And this even goes with like watch time being a continuing importance of a prediction, I guess you could say. I say prediction in quotes because it's like, come on now.
But I think this is what's what a lovely way for my own prediction to come in here is that I predict that we are entering into people who do really quality storytelling. So I think the higher quality of the video itself, the focus, the in general, like you feel like the energy within the video, that's one side of this. But the more that people know how to speak, know how to hold attention while they're speaking on camera is going to be even more important. So like for YouTubers and different and people that have been doing longer form video, they're kind of trained. They like, okay, how do I start a video? What's my script to keep people around? And a large portion of this is early on, talk to camera could be like off the cuff. Like, what happened today? Let me tell you about what's going on. And it might get wordy. I have a tendency to get wordy and I have to edit myself. But being able to know that even though you get a minute on Instagram, if you can make a really strong dynamic point in 45 seconds, do the 45 seconds. Like, don't fill the time that has to be there and be able to think about how you can, within a 45-second amount of time, present a problem, give a solution, talk a little bit about a relatable story, and finish in a strong way. I think there's a lot to be said about if you are going to do these longer form videos on Instagram, the ones that are getting the reach are the ones that hold that attention, whether that's through the story they're telling, the visuals they throw in there, or the ability to, like, exactly what you're saying, like think about how cuts can hold people's attention to watch again. I actually recently saw somebody saying, I'm not paying attention to hashtags or SEO, but what I am paying attention to is watch time. And it's being able to, that plays into two ways. How strong of a storyteller is the person speaking? And also how strong are your visuals to tell that story as well.
And that even like ties back to what we were saying about AI video with getting those stock videos, right? Like having that throughout your talk to camera video, sprinkling in those B-roll clips, which I know we've talked about and we've taught our clients together as partners, is how that allows for more engagement, more connection with whatever your shapes with whatever you're sharing, a better understanding. It's like walking the walk versus just talking the talk and showcasing that, but also having that what AI can bring to the table too, where they might throw in a clip or suggest a clip to use as B-roll throughout your talk to camera that you might not even think of. And you're like, oh, that works great. Like, love it, use it. And it, again, allows for that same connection for your audience to make, and everything you were saying about engagement, performance, all the things.
Yeah. So if right now you've been focusing on likes and shares, I'm going to tell you that when it comes to reels, we want you to, the next thing is going to be watch time. How long have people watched? Not just how many repeated views, but did they watch the whole 45 seconds? Did they not? Things like that. And I think this plays perfectly well into how long form video is coming back. It's here. It's not going anywhere. Now, I'm going to officially say that this is more of a TikTok trend. I do not see longer watch times happening on Instagram at the moment, but TikTok introduced its 10-minute video and I thought it was laughable. And then I found myself realizing that I hit my like time limit mark that I give myself on social media within like one video. I'm like, wait, oh, holy crap, this person had me watching for 8 straight minutes and I didn't realize. So how do you feel about long form video coming back, especially on the platform that supposedly has all of our attention spans getting shorter? Like how do you feel about long form video coming back?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I think that, you know, the YouTube creators out there who have done really well are probably really stoked about it because that is a routine that they are, you know, well versed in. That's the word. They're very well versed in creating long form content, and I think that that's going to apply really well on TikTok with this new 10-minute long videos. And also, just like along with that, like TikTok did it for a reason, right? Like they are seeing that people are watching longer, and so they're giving more to their creators to keep the people on the app longer with longer form videos. And I mean, YouTube's been around for so long, and obviously they're successful, right? And they have longer form videos. I think I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on how things, you know, I feel like in the past we were talking about kind of the competition more so between Instagram and TikTok. And now with this change, I feel like the competition between TikTok and YouTube may be becoming more of a thing. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, I like while we know, in my opinion, I still think that this long form content is this long form video. When we say long form, I'm saying like 10 minutes. like there's like, I don't think even like YouTube, their highest performers are between 8 and 12 minutes. Now podcasts are a little bit of a different category, but most of their regular YouTube content, that's like a good sweet spot. So the fact that that TikTok put themselves right in the middle at 10 minutes. They were really wanting to keep people hanging out longer. They wanted to see, in general, they can pay their creators. They've been trying to pay their creators more, but doing the short form video wasn't doing that. So it makes a lot of sense. As far as a marketing tactic, if anyone's like, oh, does that mean I got to create a whole bunch of 10-minute videos? No, but the prediction here is that you have the ability to. I think there's an idea of, you know, the leaning in, like you want how you're trying, like grabbing attention a lot, like getting new faces. That's going to be your 15-second to 45-second video. Still, it's not gone. Like it's the idea that if you've been able to curate a really strong community, that they're going to want to hang out with you a little longer, and that's where the occasional every other week 10-minute strong storytelling long form video is going to, one, convert them potentially into clients. But it doesn't have to be this idea that I got to churn out 10-minute videos every single day of the week. So having that ability marketing wise is that you're going to get people spending more time with you. You're going to be able to show how strong of a leader you are or how strong your brand is. It's only going to be helpful. It's only going to be helpful. But can you really see how the video platforms, so we did predict that there was going to be this war between the video platforms. There was, but it almost feels like they all decided, well, we're going to choose our lane. That's how I feel like this year went. Like in general, Instagram is still that curation feed, y'all. Like, y'all, I've never said that. Why did I just say that? But Instagram is that curation feed. It absolutely is the place that Nick was just saying, that you do a really high quality documentary style video for 8 seconds and tell them to read the caption. It only works on Instagram. That's the only place it works. And it's funny. Leading up to the podcast, I was like really taking notes on my own Reels feed, my own scroll, that the one shot Reels is 80% of my Reels feed. Not the read captions. Some of them are, but the idea is, you know, I only one really strong documentary style video that's like inspirational, aesthetic, with some text over the top of it, for 8 seconds with the trending audio, put it, and then tell them to read the caption or tell them to listen in more. That is the majority of what I'm seeing on Instagram right now. And I think that does not play on TikTok. It just doesn't. It, like the people are like, why are you, like, you don't get what we're here for. So I see now Instagram has decided we're the curation feed. We're short video, like the absolutely short video. And we're about inspiration. We want to inspire you through our businesses, through our brands. It's not, which I kind of don't love, but it is what it is. It's less about like, here's me in my life doing my thing. That's for TikTok. TikTok is continued to stay the informal community-based platform. There's more talk to camera videos over there. Like, so in general, I've noticed that talk to camera videos, at least in my Reels feed, is like 5%. It's very low in comparison to TikTok. It's everybody just talking to camera, telling them about what they think, what they see, what they should know about their favorite Starbucks order, to how to build your business, to the travel trips they just went on. So it's almost like TikTok has decided, like, yeah, we want you guys just to turn on your camera and talk to us. So that's so informal. But what's really lovely about how TikTok has decided that they're the unfiltered platform, it's getting the most commentary. It's building a really strong community over there, more so than the comments that you get over on Instagram. So if I had to choose how this war panned out between the two of them, Instagram decided, okay, fine, we'll be the curated business inspirational feeds. You guys go ahead and just do your unfiltered like talking to camera stuff. Like, that's like, go ahead, you can handle that. So it's almost like the idea though with all of this is that Instagram's gotten a little easier to post to in the process, because it's one shot clips. It's a little bit like, it's about like showing what your business is about or showing what your brand's about, where TikTok, it's a little bit more like you gotta edit, you gotta get the captions, you gotta hold people's attention longer, you're posting a little more often, you're trying to think of like all these small ways to stay up and relevant on there. TikTok's a little more of a heavy lift. It always has been, but Instagram's decided, all right, we'll just be a little bit easier. We want you to post more often, so give us your one shot clips and we'll be okay with it. YouTube's decided that it's like, it's its own thing. It's educational. It's your expert. It's repurposed. It's so easy. It's so nice. So I just found that Instagram and TikTok, they decided, all right, we're going to decide what we're for. And YouTube was like, all right, I knew we were going to be educational, but we're not, we're still like the low barrier. We're no big deal. So I loved how it panned out, to be honest.
I think it's interesting what you said about Instagram being easier and TikTok being more of a higher lift, because a year ago today, I would have 100% disagreed with that. And like TikTok was like the playground. And I think there's still space for that too, 100%. Like, I mean,
both places for sure.
Yeah,
it's just more about what's performing best on both. Yeah.
Right. Like you can create what you want to create, right? But I just think it's funny. I'm like, for me, TikTok will always be a playground. Because that's just how I use it personally for me, right? Not so much thinking about like performance or growth on that platform. For me, it's more of a place for me to play. And that's where I think, strategically thinking about what you want out of each platform too with your approach. But what I also think, what came up for me when you were talking was the curation piece of Instagram. And like that side of things, how, yes, it's easier. A lot of the types of content that perform well are easier. But I also think the like curation piece also allows for some entrepreneurs to get in their heads about it. Would you agree?
I mean, of course, they want it to be perfect video before it goes up. And I feel like I got to be careful in saying this, but it makes sense. Instagram's reach doesn't make sense at the moment. It just doesn't.
The truth.
you can put a lot of effort into many things, but over and above, if like here's a way to just test in your own Instagram feed what you think is working well. Just go open the app and go straight to the Reels feed. Don't click into it from something that's in your feed. Just go straight to the Reels feed and scroll through around like 20 Reels. What commonalities do you have? Now, this is like, of course, you want to do a lot more testing to like make a generalization, but the idea is like, you're going to see that the things that are more likely to perform higher are those curations, are the crispy video, are the high quality things, because we're in that era. We've been doing this for a while. So they're going to keep pushing the people that keep the attention that it goes there. So on one side of it, this is the encouragement to build the skill, use your back camera, go for it, but also to make it easier for our Instagram users is that when you figure out how to have one strong, crispy documentary style video, it can turn into 5 pieces of content that you put throughout the month. But while yes, I can see the perfectionism gets there. Yeah, to perform as a better brand, do this, but it can be this easy.
Yeah. I was just clapping over here listening to Jamie because
the YouTubers can see that you clap, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You YouTubers out there, round of applause.
It's so funny. We're about hitting the time, so I don't want to. We have more predictions, and this is what we did last year too. Go figure. We have more, but I think we hit the main places that we wanted to go today. One last thing I did want to just mention here is that earlier when I said like trends aren't as important, trends are like hashtags anymore, in my opinion. The video, the music that you put in the background of your videos, it's not the thing. It's just, okay, I'll use this trending audio so that I am more likely to get more reach, where that's what hashtags used to be. So when I say trends are gone, it means it's not the whole concept of the video. It's just a little tool that you get to use. So that's in general my last prediction. But
and the keywords.
Yeah, and the keywords, of course.
Important.
Well, maybe we'll do another. Maybe this has to be part 2 because we have more to say. So help me out here, Nick. In summation, our predictions are: use AI to help you edit more video, get more video out there. The second piece was double down on your personal brand. Make sure you're showcasing it. What else did we say today?
Being more creative and unique. Well, I guess that's kind of doubling down on your personal brand, but allowing yourself to be more creative with the ways you're showing up versus trends and feeling like you have to fit in a box. Yeah. Experiment. I'm like, this is me just preaching right now. I'm like, I don't know if this is a prediction. I just needed to preach. It's again.
Great. It's a preach. Experiment with inspirational style video on Instagram. Decide to hop on your informal side, build community over on TikTok, and let YouTube be the spillover. I would say that's our last piece. If you are building any additional skills this year, it is how strong of a storyteller are you? And that's going to be showcasing within the content of the video itself. So we hit some really strong predictions. I think we'll be right again. I have a feeling these feel like they're on board. They're on board. Is there any one last piece when it comes to going into 2024, what you would suggest for anyone who's trying to learn how to create more video?
Exactly that. Back to what I said at the beginning, taking the time to learn. Yeah. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's only becoming more of a thing. Pretty sure I probably said that on the last episode. And taking the time to learn and experiment is only going to benefit you in the long run with all of these predictions and years to come.
I love it. I love it. So what would you say, just because I always ask it, what would you say living a little more limitless feels like right now for you?
Batching content? No, but yeah, I think that's been a goal of mine is to improve my batching skills, always improve them, commit to them, because that allows me to show up more consistently, and it frees up my time in my personal life and in my business life and in the way I serve my clients. Is that falling into the category of an answer?
It's in theme. Nick, how can we stay in touch with you after the podcast?
You can find me on Instagram, and we can do video shoots. Love my video shoots. Being able to support you in everything we've been sharing throughout this episode, having the quality of your content, branded content, and quantity, right? And finding more ease within that. And my video shoots are super supportive in that department. So yeah, here we are.
I highly recommend the video shoots. I have over 100 assets to use over the next year. So it's something that you can definitely jump in on. And Nick, I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing your brilliance with us today on our predictions. 2024 is going to be limitless if you decide to embrace your full expression and have a good time with this tool. So we cannot wait to see if these come true for you. But of course, you can always reach out to us if you need some support. Until then, live a little more limitless.